I'm going to talk to you about patterns in relationships. I want to tell you how your past is affecting your current relationships and what you can do about it to fix it. So, have you ever experienced the same pattern in your relationships? I know I definitely have. I've experienced essentially the same pattern in every single one of my adult relationships. And once I realized that I was the one that was creating the issue for myself and that this issue was based in my past, I decided to do something about it and work on healing those issues for myself. So do you tell yourself things like, well, I always attract cheaters, or I always attract narcissists? I do have a video on that. So if you're one of those people, make sure you check out my video on narcissists. It's going to be linked at the end of this video for you. So today I want to show you guys what I learned and how your past is what's holding you back from experiencing different, newer relationship patterns or even healing your current relationship. So the foundation for every single relationship of ours is first and foremost the relationship that we have to ourselves. So how you treat yourself is going to be reflected outwards. And it doesn't matter if it is a romantic relationship or a friendship or a business relationship. The way that you treat yourself is always going to be reflected out. So think about something that happened to you in your past relationships. If you know that you have a certain pattern in your relationships, think about like what was that first relationship that kind of dug it into your head? When did you first experience it? I'm just going to use cheating as an example right here. I'm not going to go into the reasons why people cheat. That's going to be a future video of mine. So make sure you guys stick around because I will be posting that here. I don't know if it's going to be next week or the week after, but it will be coming up pretty soon here. So I'm just not sure exactly when yet. I did kind of take a week off this week because I've been busy. I had so many leaves to clean up in my yard and just no time. But anyways, like I was saying, this video is not going to go over the reasons why people cheat. What this video is going to focus on is what you are doing that contributes to the pattern that you are experiencing. So why you experience this pattern in your relationships, and for my specific example, for the purposes of this video, why you consistently experience infidelity. So, have you ever wondered, why do I always attract cheaters? You attract cheaters because you're self-sabotaging yourself by using your past and bringing your past into your present moment. And this creates a narrative of the situation in your mind, a thought process. And it's that thought process that ends up creating friction in the relationship that, again, and this is just a specific example for cheating, that leads somebody to cheat. So the bare bones is that you're self-sabotaging yourself by bringing your past into your present moment, and that connection is creating a thought process in your mind, and it's bringing your past into your present moment, and you are going to react based on that thought process. So let's say 2 years ago, somebody broke your heart. You just shattered it to pieces. And now you're ready for a new relationship and you found somebody and everything seems to be going good. And this may come up right away, but I would say that it would typically come up around the time where maybe things are starting to get a little bit more serious. What your mind is going to do, because now you have started to care about that person more, things are getting serious, your mind is going to start thinking about the last time, the past, and how they cheated. And you're going to start to wonder, is this new person going to cheat on me too? Your mind is going to start making you question their moves, and your mind is going to try to find reasons to validate that thought process of they're cheating on me. Like sneakily checking their phone. Even when the other person hasn't given you any valid reason to believe that. So, I'm sorry. My allergies are just so bad right now. So your mind's going to start making you question their moves. You are going to find reasons to validate that thought process because your mind needs to be right. Your mind needs them to be a cheater for you to continue thinking the same way. So even when the other person has given you no valid reason to think the way that you're thinking, you'll still think it. And then you're going to go out and find the validation to remain in that same thought process. Let's say one day you find them talking to somebody of the opposite sex. The validation that your mind is going to that your mind tries to find is going to vary because it just depends on the thought process that's going to be happening. Some things may definitely be plausible, but others may be really, really far off. You're going to start to question them about it, and they're going to tell you the truth. But nothing's going on. I was just out on the porch talking to our neighbor who happens to be somebody of the opposite sex. But because you already have it set in your mind that they're cheating on you, your mind will tell you that they're lying. And this is how your past comes to play. And this is how you convince yourself to stay in that same thought process. You are emotional, and this is why this happens inside of your own mind. You were emotionally hurt in the past by the cheating. And your ego is what it is for survival, right? To make sure you don't get hurt. And that means physically and emotionally. So you were emotionally hurt in the past. And in order to save you from this hurt, you keep this thought process alive in your mind to the point where you actually end up self-sabotaging. Because how do we learn things, right? I know that if I stick my hand into a fire, it's going to burn me really bad. I may not have touched fire before, I may have done it before, but I think you guys understand what I'm saying. We learn things from making mistakes sometimes. Oops, this always happens. We learn from our past, right? That's how we learn. We learn how to not get hurt physically. Oh, I rode my bike without a helmet and I just ran into a brick wall. Like, I should have worn a helmet. Now, next time I ride my bike, I'm going to wear a helmet. So you keep your past in your present moment. And this causes fear. And this causes action. Whether it's just in your mind or externally too. To validate this fear. So the fear is going to cause action, whether it's just in your mind or externally too, to validate this fear. What I mean by just in the mind is you'd be surprised at how good you are at convincing yourself of what you believe and why you need to continue believing what you believe. And so that's what I mean by if it's in the mind or externally to like the like the checking of the phone. The ego wants to find validation so that it can continue that same thought process to keep you from being emotionally hurt again because you were hurt in your past. Here's what happens. And especially if you are going to the lengths of taking external action, like checking on their phone or anything else, and this person, we're going to pretend they're totally innocent. Totally innocent. They're not cheating. So when the allegations are not true, the relationship is going to start to fall apart because it's going to cause friction, right? The other person is just going to either end the relationship or they're going to cheat and they're going to look elsewhere. Or both. Maybe they just want to stay miserable. But the key thing is it's going to cause the friction. And that is one of the things that leads to them cheating on you. So if you were cheated on in the past, now you are bringing that to your present moment. The thought process is rolling. Checking their phone every time they go to the bathroom. Maybe you're following them in their car somewhere. I don't know. Maybe you forced them to delete all the females from their Facebook friends list, or said you can't talk to that person because I think, and then, oh, now you can't talk to that person, or you can't talk to that person, or name it. It causes the friction. The other person's going to get sick and tired of it because they're telling the truth. They're not cheating. Put yourself in their shoes. How would you feel if somebody was, to put it bluntly and kind of simply, up your butt 24/7 when you're not doing anything wrong? So, what can you do about it? One of the keys to experiencing a different pattern in your relationship is to end the pattern in your thought process. The person was cheated on initially for one reason or another and has a constant thought process going forward of, this person will cheat on me too. Their ego will need to fill the validation for this, and they're going to find it, but the thought process is completely based in the past. The way you change up your relationship patterns is to change up your thought patterns. This is not a quick fix. It takes time, but the first step to it, I feel like this is like a AA meeting or whatever. But the first step is admitting you have a problem. The first step is admitting that you have some personal accountability here. So you need to be able to recognize your part to play in the patterns that you experience in your relationships. One of the things that you can start with after that is start a practice of being present. So something like meditation. Meditation would be a great way to start out. If you prefer something more like yoga, anything that just gets you in the moment where you're not thinking of the past, you're not thinking of what's going to happen in the future. A lot of people, even when they go on walks or something, a lot of people can find that presence when they go on a walk. But find something that keeps you present. And once you have enough awareness in the present moment, catch yourself in the act. So when your thought process is going to, cheater, think about if there's any actual evidence of this. And then ask yourself if there's any evidence of the evidence of it. Ask yourself if it's just your pattern creeping up on you again. Question yourself, second guess yourself, because there are several different layers that tends to happen when your ego's looking for that validation. to where, let's say, well, he was talking to that girl on the porch the other day, so that's not really, that's not really evidence. He was just talking to her. Then the ego's gonna be like, did you see how he looked at her? Did you see his body language? Or did you see her body language? Did you see the way she was looking at him? You see what I mean there? Your mind is still going, it's going to try to validate it as much as it can. So just question yourself, question yourself, question yourself. I found positive affirmations really helpful when I was working through all of my issues. So positive affirmations are a super useful tool. I have a video on how to make them 10 times more powerful, and I have another video too, so make sure you check those out as well. You can use statements like, I choose to believe that every moment is new with endless possibilities. I choose to believe that I can create new patterns in my relationships. I choose to believe that I attract honest and loyal people in my relationships. Anything that will help you heal that initial wound that's causing you to continue on telling yourself that, this is the story that you tell yourself about yourself. I always attract cheaters. If you are in the middle of, or if you're trying to fix a relationship and it's starting to kind of go down that same path, be honest and open with your significant other and talk to them about the issue. Tell them, I was cheated on in the past and I know that it caused a wound inside of me and I want to work on healing that wound. I'm starting to think that you're cheating on me because of this wound, but I know that you've given me no reason to think this way. I'm working on this issue and would appreciate your patience with me while I'm working on healing myself. This way you're letting the other person know that you are aware of the issue and that you yourself are aware of the issue. And you're also aware that the issue is just an illusion, that you're responsible for doing something about it, and that you are actually taking steps towards doing something about it. You'll need to show the other person that you are working on it. If you just keep on telling them, I'm working on it, I'm working on it, I'm working on it, and there's really no progress that they're seeing, like if you're still looking at their phone, if you're still, I'm working on it, I'm working on it, they likely aren't going to believe you, or they won't think that you can change. Your actions must match your words, is basically what I'm saying. Again, none of this is a quick fix. The progress, it doesn't happen overnight, but there will be signs of progress, however big or however small. So just be open, honest, and communicate with the person. Whew! That one was a longer one. That's all for right now. Again, I am a certified life, relationship, and spiritual coach. I also coach soul connections like twin flames and soulmates. I do a free initial 30-minute session. If you want to upgrade to a full session, you can do so for 50% off. My contact information should be in the description as well as other links. Until next time, everybody.